are back, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Average Woman Podcast. I am here to assist you in any way I can. I want to see you married and happy in a relationship. That is my goal, and I want to give you those tools that you need to have that and be successful. So let's get into it. So let's talk about it, y'all. We talking about today getting your baby daddy back. Now, I just want you to know, Miss Nicole ain't no miracle worker. I ain't no miracle worker, okay? So I can't do everything, okay? But what I want you to know is that I'm going to equip you with as many tools as I possibly can to help you and your baby daddy get back together. But some of y'all, even God would have to come down here and tell your baby daddy to be back with you. Okay? God would have to tell him, okay? So it ain't really nothing that you would, some of y'all, because some of y'all just done did the most, and a lot of times once you done cross the man line, like, he not dealing with you no more, so some of us, if you know that you done went too far, if you know that you done crossed this man, you done did the most, you done hurt this man, a lot of times, it may not be no coming back. You know what I'm saying? But if he still come at you like, he's not really seeing anybody else, he's still talking about you and him being together, or if he make hints or clues that he still want to be with you, all that is a good sign. If you didn't cross him, and do some real foul stuff to him, it may still be a chance for you and him to come back on a relationship type and raise y'all kid together. I love to see that. You know what I'm saying? We out here looking for all kind of men in these streets, but a lot of times the best thing that you're going to get is your baby daddy. And if you got multiple baby daddies, then you got a couple of to select from. You know what I'm saying? So if you got, a baby daddy and y'all still on good terms, and y'all done grew up a little bit, and you still the only child, the only kid, the only kid mother that he has and everything, it might be something that we could do right there, something we could work with. You know what I'm saying? All situations is different. But like I say, it is certain situations that the men, they just not going to forgive you for. And in those situations, lady, I recommend that you do a lot of self-work on self and learn from the stuff that ended your relationship and the behaviors and energies that you was putting off at the time. So so that you can learn from it. So when that you are able to get another man, that you in a better frame of mind and right from wrong. Okay, so let's get into it, how we can assist you if you are in a good relationship. You are in a good relationship with your baby daddy, even if you and your baby daddy wasn't like dating heavily. If y'all just if y'all did have some type of relationship, putting a relationship back together is not a hard thing. It is mostly on his end to want to reciprocate the feelings for you. You know what I'm saying? You alone every night, he out in the streets. That's the price that we pay when we decide to lay unprotected. So their life don't change. So they don't want to be tied down in the house with a girlfriend and a baby when they could run the streets, get shot and killed, and smoke all kind of strange things and take all kind of pills and stuff. Some of them don't want that regular life with you. Some guys, they are just trifling for to begin with. They don't want no woman, and you're not going to convince them otherwise. So in that situation also, you want to understand that, accept that, and begin the process that you got a baby from a guy that's just not there yet where you are. See, once we have kids, like, we go into instant, I'm ready to settle down mode. But then we got to think about it. Was we talking like that when we was having sex with this guy? No, we was not. We wasn't even thinking about it. But now, hindsight 2020, we're on the ready to settle down, be a wife mode. Okay. Hopefully, after the first child, you on that mode and you ready to do that. Because some of y'all still ready to run around in these streets, make baby number 2, baby number 3, and then you decide you want to settle down. And then a lot of times, it's even harder to get you a man after you done caught 3 bodies like that. Okay? So this usually works for the ladies who have 1 child, or the lady has 2 children from 1 father. because that's still like catching one body's plate. If you got 2, 3 baby daddies, 2, 3, 4, you're gonna have to try to pick within whichever one you got the best relationship with, and try to make a relationship with them, and try to be in love and work with what you got, because it's not easy trying to build something out of nothing. If you didn't have a relationship already with this man, it's not going to be easy to try to come back and build something that you never had. And if you, like I said, it just depends on the circumstances. If y'all never had a relationship to begin with, but y'all developed a relationship over time, he's noticing the kind of the woman that you are. You're noticing the kind of man he is. He's developed it. He's become mature. You might be able to have something to work with. So the first thing that you want to do is, if you feel in that vibe, is you want to have a conversation with him. I know that I ain't been the best person in the world. You ain't been the best person in the world, but do you think it's still something there between us that we could be in a relationship together? Question number one. It cannot get no plainer than that. And see what he say. Okay? He may be like, yeah, I think that it's entertaining, the idea we don't grew up, whatever. Then the other one might be like, hell nah, I'm seeing somebody or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But whatever it is, don't sweat it, because God don't close one door without opening another door. For all that talk about men don't want women with kids, that's just all crap. It's about you and how you present yourself. A lot of men don't mind dealing with women with kids, but y'all are out of order with your thinking and how you gonna deal with a man with children. You don't really have a negotiating standpoint. When you're dealing with, because it's like you already bringing 3 bags on the airline and each one of those bags have got to be paid for, and he has to pay for all that. So you don't really have anything to negotiate. So you got to humble yourself as much as possible and listen to what this man saying and what he asking you to do. We should be humble regardless. And not just because we got kids. We should just be humble in spirit, because you are trying to get somebody to fall in love with you. Men don't really fall in love. You can't make a man fall in love with you. The way a man falls in love with you is over time, you putting in your work and being a good woman and showing him that you're loyal and faithful and kind and gonna be there for him. That's how you earn their love. You have to show them that. So, and the problem with us is a lot of times, like, we just ain't interested in showing nobody nothing. We don't care about we don't care about our, the works that we got to put in. We feel like we're just entitled to this. And that's not how life works. Like anything, you got to prove all things. The Bible say that. You got to prove all things. So you got to prove yourself to this guy that you even worthy to be his wife. You got to show him that you're worthy enough to bear more children for him, or for him to take his money and spend it and do for you. You got to show him that. And that's not something that you can just talk up on. So we can work with all that. My specialty is I help you come up with a game plan. I pick up on your shortcomings, your strongholds, and see whether we analyze the relationship, see what kind of guy we dealing with. Once we find out what kind of guy we dealing with, then we can go from there. Now, like I said, you may not be able to get this guy back, but at least what we can do is get you into a position where you are ready to meet someone else, and you ready to, that next guy is just around the corner, and you want to be in a position where you're ready to be with him, and because he's ready to be with you, and you done got all the skeletons out your closet, you done cut ties with baby daddy, all hearts and minds of the church have been clear, so there's no mystery between y'all. You done closed the door. And now it's time for you to move on. And God gonna send you that man right there at that time. But I'm telling you, the problem with us is, and this is the biggest thing, is that we think that we have unlimited men forever. And guess who thought that too? Mama, auntie, grandmama. They just thought they could just keep running through guys, meeting guys, and playing games and not trying to commit, and all this here, being the runner-up instead of trying to find our own relationship and settle down with a man. We just felt like we could just always keep playing these games, and that's what happens. you turn around and the sand done ran out the hourglass. You ain't nobody checking for you no more. Ain't nobody looking for you. Ain't no man want to be bothered with you. All the men that you was messing with back in the days done changed their numbers and got wives, and you still out here looking crazy because each man you passed. Just like the I don't know if y'all ever heard the old proverb about the man who was waiting on God. The land was flooding. God sent 3 different ways for this man to get off this roof, and he turned all 3 ways away. He turned all 3 methods of help and escape off the roof. He turned all that away, and when he died, because he did die, because he didn't take any of the help, he got to heaven and he was like, God, why didn't you come and help me? He was like, I sent 3 ways for you to get off the roof. You couldn't see the forest for the trees. And that's our biggest problem. We got to be able to see the forest for the trees and see, like, Mr. Right, the one that you got painted in your head, like, that dude doesn't exist and not looking for you. What you got in front of you is your options and what you have available to you. Depending on, how you done lived your life, your options are limited. Depending on where you are in your life, your options are limited. So if you have to be mindful of that. And sometimes when we done did the most, sometimes our baby daddies just, and sometimes our baby daddy was never really checking for us and wanting to be in a relationship with us from the beginning. We was just easy coochie, and they took advantage of that. Us being, I don't mean they took advantage of that, because they didn't take advantage of that. They took the opportunity that we presented to them. Because we presented the opportunity, we said that we didn't care. We don't have no standards. You can just have sex with me. You don't have to have any. I don't have no standards. I don't care how you treat me. So just have sex with me and don't use no protection. And then when I get pregnant, I'll keep the baby and put you on child support, because that's all I know to do. Because I don't have any kind of standards or expectations for this man at all. And it's not, and that's just cold-blooded. Like, we got to reevaluate the circumstances, especially with our baby-making habits, because it matters who you have kids with. Sometimes we fall in love with fuck niggas. We fall in love with some of the most, the guy that ain't nobody got no business messing with. You fall in love with him and decide you want to be with him. And then you wonder why you get all these bumps and bruises on your spirit, body, and soul from him dragging you for the length of the relationship. You knew you wasn't supposed to mess with him. Warning signs, people telling you this, that, and the third, but you still had unprotected sex with him to make a baby, because that's the only way that you can make babies. If we stop having unprotected sex, we don't have to worry about having babies. That's like that's the number one thing you absolutely can control is unwanted pregnancies by abstaining or using pregnancy safe sex. Very simple. And it doesn't have to be something that's strenuous or grievous. Like, if you love yourself and you don't want to make your life more difficult, be wise with the things that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? We got to be able to build a relationship with a guy before we just give our body to him. We need to have expectations. We need to at least be in a boyfriend-girlfriend type of situation before you just giving him booty. Well, I'm not girlfriend material, then you shouldn't be out here having sex. If you're not interested in being somebody's wife, if you're not interested in being in a monogamous relationship, you should not be having sex, because you're not even there. Sex is for couples who are together, a man and a woman that's together and that decided that they're going to be in a relationship. Them two going to have sex, because why? They're going to deal with all the responsibilities that come along with them two being together. And you don't have that commitment with everybody. So, come on, ladies. Come on. It's not hard. First build the relationship. Don't just rush. And even if you get married, I never understand why immediately after you get married, you ready to start having kids. Immediately after you get married, while you planning marriage, you spending thousands and thousands of dollars on weddings and all shit that, like, fairy tale shit. Like, you don't have the money for this stuff. But I'm only doing it once. You don't know if it's only going to be once. You don't know if it's going to be once. But we are so in our own heads with what we think things should be. Slow your roll. Take your time and build a relationship with the man. Even if y'all got kids together, take your time and at least just get to know him so you can provide good things to say about him to your kids. Okay? I mean, that matters. It matters to get to know him. Get to know him and let him get to know you without the wig and the lies and the fakeness. Once he gets to know you, he might really want to fuck with you because he'll see the type of woman you are. But as long as you being all exclusive and mysterious and shit, he ain't fucking with you. Because you being sneaky and invasive. They don't want nobody like that. They want somebody that they can see. That they don't have to guess, is that a man? Or do she have edges? Is those her real nails? Is that her real butt? I wonder if her stomach really that flat, or do she have a waist train on? You know, they want you to just be yourself. But see, the problem is, it's like not only are we not personally developed for self, but we crazy as hell. So, and that's just like a whole nother story within itself. We can definitely do better. We can have better. We can love better. And we can live better. But we got to first make better choices. We got to learn how to repair these relationships that we done tore up. You got to be able to say, I'm sorry for the shit that you did. If you did some really horrible stuff, you cheated on your boyfriend with his friend. If you can't work with a boyfriend, maybe you could build a relationship with a friend. But a lot of times that's not going to work because relationships built on shady stuff like that, those don't even go nowhere. I can work with you if you got something to build on. But a lot of times these relationships that you guys have gotten with these men, it ain't even nothing to build on. And you heard about that because you wanted to work, but it's not. And in the meantime, while you're waiting for that next man to come and find you, you need to be personally developing your shortcomings. You need to be working on yourself. Because not only do you need to be worked on, but you need to be better because now you have a daughter or a son that's looking at you for guidance. How you gonna guide them when you confused and messed up? They're gonna be wilding. They're gonna be just like you was. They're gonna be all in your business, telling all your business. They're gonna be all in your life. They're not gonna respect nothing. They're gonna be tearing things up. They're gonna be ungrateful, unappreciative of all the work that you done put in. And they're going to be talking shit about you. And on top of that, if your mama is a hater, she going to be talking shit about you to your kids, which is going to turn your kids against you. Okay? So you got a lot of shit that's going on around you that you don't even realize yet. But I'm here to help you. So I need you to, number one, I need you to understand that you need some personal development. Okay? You need to accept the fact that you have some shortcomings and that maybe that you don't really understand how to be with a man. You don't understand what it means to be a woman, let alone what it means to be a woman that belongs to a man. You don't understand none of that. So by the time you get this next man, if you want this to be the one that wants to marry you, wife you, and do this, you need to be ready. Because God don't send us all kind of men throughout our whole life. We don't get a whole lot of really good ones. And then a lot of times when he send the really good ones, we not ready. We don't even recognize the good ones because we so messed up in our heads with our emotions and feelings, and they not entertaining it. They're like, oh, Miss Lady, you beautiful, I love you, and you do everything that I want. But guess what? If your mind bad, the body's bad. So let's get your mind right, okay? Get your mind right. Start entertaining Miss Nicole. I am here. My conversations to you is free. I'm not trying to tax you. I want to help you. These women out here, they can't help you. They can't give you any kind of knowledge on how to stay in a long-term relationship with a man. Ask them how long they've been in a relationship. They cannot tell you. Ask them, is their man happy? They cannot tell you. Ask their man, is he happy? He gonna be like, okay. Lifelong relationship person you speak with. I'm married now. Been married for 10 years. This ain't my first marriage. This is my second marriage. So the first marriage, it was hard. I was young. We divorced. But I didn't let that scandal me or scar me or anything. I was able to go on to another relationship for 7-8 years, and I found my husband. And I've been with him for 10 years. So the relationships, keeping a relationship is not a problem, and being happy in a relationship is not something that you cannot achieve and cannot have. You're supposed to be in a relationship. You're supposed to be settled down. You're supposed to be with a man that loves and respects you. But it's rules to everything in life. And I'm going to help you with that. You know, if that's what you want. You know, some of y'all don't want to help. You want to do what you want to do. More power to you, ladies that want to do what you want to do. But you ladies that's really interested, you tired of being single, you don't have to be like your mama. Because your mama not going to tell you how to get a man. Because if your mama knew how to get a man, she would have one. If your mama knew how to maintain a long-term relationship, she would have one. And if your mama wasn't a hater, she would have told you all the wrong things that she did that got her in a situation where she ain't got no man. She would have told you, baby, I did this here and I don't want you to do this here because this is why Mr. Johnny left me. This why your daddy ain't here. This why your brother daddy ain't here. And this why your little sister daddy ain't here. She would tell you the truth. But she not going to tell you the truth. What she going to do is act like, oh, that's just normal. That's just how shit go. That's not how it go. That's not how it go. I'm telling you now, that's not how it go. You don't have to be a single baby mama. You don't have to be doing it by yourself. You don't have to struggle. And everything begins and ends with your willingness to cooperate and to get on the man program. Period. So, if you're ready to level up and mature up, I'm here. NicoleArcher.com is where I be. I'm your sister from a different mister. I will talk to you later, ladies. Have a great day.